I'm going to actually introduce myself this time. I'm Nicole Billard, and this is my yoga studio, Luna Scura Yoga, in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. I put out a video last week about how I wasn't going to put out videos, and that video has had people requesting more videos. So I am going to do my best to contribute whatever I can to allowing us to move through the awkward position that life has put us in currently. But in order to do that, I want to make sure that you get a better understanding of who we are and what we do here. We call the studio Luna Scura, which means dark moon, and I will get to why after I define a few other words. Following the definition of words is very important to me and how I teach. If you can follow the definition of a word, you can understand why your mind, why your heart has chosen that word to express the current situation and current emotion that you are in. So following a few definitions of words that are important will help us connect a little bit better. First word to define is yoga. For us, the definition of yoga is a recognition of whatever position life has put you in and the ability to find the breath and the grace to move through that position with an appropriate exchange of energy. The actual positions, the recognizable movements of a yoga practice, which everybody is familiar with, is actually only one small part of yoga as a practice. And as a whole, it is the ability to recognize the position that you've been put in and find the grace and the breath and the exchange of energy to be able to move through that in a beneficial way for your position in the universe. Yoga practice is also very important. The practice of yoga, practice just means anything you do on a regular basis. So whatever you do on a regular basis to assist you in recognizing the position that you hold, the position that your life is in, and how an appropriate exchange of energy can help you move through that with ease is your yoga practice. That could be getting up and out of bed and showering every morning. It could be making sure you finish a full cup of tea every day, or it could mean a full asana program with all of the more difficult poses of an actual physical yoga practice as Western society has defined it, yoga practice. Two words that are very important for understanding how we approach things is the difference between a reaction and a response. A reaction is an immediate injection of energy either into or out of a situation that may or may not be beneficial, but it is immediate and based on some understanding or no understanding of the situation whatsoever. We try to encourage a more responsive nature to the positions that life puts you in. So if you recognize some discomfort or a newness or stress in a position, taking the time to sit with that, understanding the exchange of energy. If you add more energy in, does that help? If you take more energy out, does that help? And that could again mean a physical practice or an emotional practice. So the ability to define the difference between reaction and a response is going to be critical in understanding how we do things. Again, you've heard me say understanding the energy required to move yourself through your position and recognizing your position in the grander scheme of things. And that's why I say I'm a little bit weird with a Y. The word weird, W-Y-R-D, is loosely defined as an understanding that you are one thread in a larger tapestry, a larger web of energy in a situation. You may or may not have complete control over the position that you have been put in. And you may think you do, but you probably don't understand all of the threads that go into creating that picture. So being weird is completely encouraged in our practice because it just means that you're recognizing that you are a component of a larger situation, which ties us very neatly back to why we call the studio Dark Moon. Luna Scura means dark moon, and the reason the imagery of dark moon is very important to me is because the moon itself is always whole, it's always full, it's always important, it always holds a place in its grander universe. Whether or not anybody's paying attention to it, if the sun is shining on the moon or whether it's below the horizon and completely invisible, whether or not it's reflecting a full sunshiny face to the world or whether or not it's taking its time to sort of sit and be quiet and figure it out. The moon is always strong enough to do its job. It's always doing its job whether or not somebody else is paying attention to it. And that defines us and our place in the grander scheme of things. You are always capable and strong of holding your position in the grander scheme of things. And if all we can do is provide you some space and help you define some words and help you understand the exchange of energy, then we're doing what we're here for. So if I can at all help with doing that, I will do my best. And ultimately, if that means that I can put out some short videos with some tips and tricks on how to make sure your energy exchange allows you some ease and grace and breath in your life, then I will do my best.